because it's gonna make it out. Somebody's gonna think of it eventually, but it is cool to get to it first, I guess. But you gotta live with it when you don't release as soon as the idea hits. And that was my thing. I didn't normally I would have went home and recorded when I got that, but I sat on it and then Absol picked that up. It's like some Akashic record shit where he's like, I'm gonna flip that too. That's a good one. Ostrich eyes, ostracized. You ain't even an ostrich size.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it. Oh, look. Technical difficulties. Build and Destroy show once again. This is the Father's Day special, so happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We got action for you guys today. Before we get into it, do we have any special announcements or just Father's Day intro to fathers?
Yeah, just intro to the fathers, man. We're sharing our month with all kind of stuff, but we get to own our little space and time that we got chiseled out for our holiday. But it has been a busy weekend, and we're sharing space. It ain't just all our day.
Mhm.
At least it don't feel like that.
What about you, HighRize?
Man, I'm thankful. I'm thankful I live in the same city as my pops, and I look at my dad and his dad, and my dad moved away, and it was. I think it would be hard to not live in the same city as your parents when they're aging, and it's kind of that final chapter time. So I feel just geographically blessed to just have a time and a space continuum where I can visit my father as much as I possibly can, you know, for this next whatever it may be.
I feel it. Watching them finals basketball games and enjoying them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching the series finals with my pops. That's been cool.
Dope. All right, well, shoot. We might as well jump right into it. Well, a continuation off from our topic of discussion last week on the AI music. We were just kind of talking offline a little bit about the serendipitous nature of our guest last week, BP of the Parker Brothers, he's from the Parker Brothers, but he's now just BP Parker on the solo mission. But a big claim that has come out recently from this whole Timberland AI joint is a specific producer, Cuddy Fresh or K Fresh, in which he's used his music. And I'm just gonna play this clip that I got queued up, which is it's the end of an interview that he did with Curtis King. But he just talks about where he made his beat tag. So I'm gonna just play this. Let me make sure I hit the share for you guys so you can actually hear what I'm about to play. Make sure I share it with sound.
I hope it's not out of pocket to ask about this. Your tag, somebody got in my comments and was like, that's not even original tag. That tag is from a Illmind a sample pack.
No, it's not. It's from a rap verse that I did from shout out to the Parker Brothers. There's a song. If you can find it, you can find it. It's called Squirt Splash when I was a rapper. So that tag is actually 23-year-old me. And at the beginning of my verse, I say, easy, for real, for real. That's how that tag came. So that's my actual voice.
I hope that person that left that comment is looking me straight in the face. You stupid.
Yeah, that was it. At least the part that I thought was funny because we had BP on, and he name dropped him, talking about my tag came from a song that I made with them. So I thought
That's
that was
major.
I thought that was dope. That
Someone was trying to say Cuddy Fresh's tag isn't original.
Yeah. In the conversation, in context of him getting his production stolen by Timberland and his AI machine.
Well, okay.
Because that was the conversation. Was Timberland released some video, or on his live he was playing some music, and it had one of his songs in that Timberland is claiming this is my AI's song. But the song had his beat tag in it.
Uh-huh.
But I guess it was the Suno AI program, but they didn't. It's not smart enough to know you can't fuck. The beat tag is there for you.
Yeah.
It literally is the anti-biting. It's the
right.
It's the watermark. And as the AI should have known better.
People talking about Cuddy right now?
Yeah, so that interview was from Curtis King. He's a YouTuber and a rapper and a producer, but I mean, yeah, it's because he has the most legitimate claim at this point. You just played music on, like, you played music with my beat tag in it, and you're playing it as yours. Like, I don't know how much.
Yeah, people thought Timbo was doing something for the culture. Like, oh man, we love him. He's being able to go on live, and then we get to send him music, and it's like a bump it or dump it. And if he likes us, he's gonna put us on. People didn't realize that they could have been feeding this machine the whole time. You know, it just feels backhanded. It feels like it wasn't as innocent as it came off, I guess.
And he was doing that for a minute.
Yeah, he was doing it for years.
Man, so think about the thousands and thousands of beats that people, if he was doing this is allegedly, but yeah. I mean, and from so many different producers. So it's like, I don't know.
Is his counterclaim that he's just using this program that just draws sounds from the internet, and that it's at that point it's just open for whatever, and he didn't try to take something from Cuddy, but he's just using this program that's just sourcing sounds, and that's what it emitted?
Yeah, who he's working with, they're doing business with Suno. They've already kind of been in trouble for the pool that they use, that they pull music from. They ran into some licensing issues with that. They're using people's artists that they didn't have permission to. So it sounds like it's kind of more of the same.
Sounds like what this program can't tell. It's just sourcing beats and sounds, and it doesn't care where it comes from, and then it's just swirling them up and spitting them out or whatever.
Yeah, like the publishing and the copywriting hasn't caught up.
Yeah, I kind of do believe that.
Yeah, there's catch up with the models.
Well, the thing is that's kind of the point, is you can't make a model without using someone's music.
Yeah.
You can't train AI what rap sounds like.
I mean, I thought that was almost samples. Like, yeah. I mean, I feel like I've accepted the fact that my likeness, my voice, everything I've done that's on the internet can be fucking looped, sampled, and chopped, and I got no say in that. Yeah. That's the price I pay for being public, for trying to share my image and voice and sound, is that I'm sharing it. And once you share something, it's gone.
Yeah.
Somebody can edit it up, and it just takes a snippet of your voice or something, or tiny little piece of a beat you made, and yeah, you're just in the ethosphere out there of things that these programs can draw upon, and that's where we're at.
So let me ask you this then, based on that. If a movie came out, Disney puts out a movie, and in it, there's a poetry contest, and you hear someone in the movie saying your poem.
Yeah. I think if I can prove that their poem is a large enough part of my poem, and that I can prove that my poem is first, that I could use normal copyright law to be reimbursed from that. Now, whether I have enough money to go up against Disney and actually pull that off is kind of like a separate issue. But that would be my answer, is that if they took a large enough part that was a true infringement of like a measurable amount that was more than a snippet or a tidbit or whatever, like whatever that cutoff is, you know.
So pretty much
Like,
right now, it's not good enough because it's traceable, but you would be okay with it as it gets better when it can't trace the origins. Because right now, AI is dumb enough to put someone's beat tag in the fucking recreation. So, I mean, but at some point, it'll be told, yo, you can't fucking do that. Someone will put it in the code or give it the right prompt. Don't blatantly steal the beats that we want you to recreate. Put some magic in there, you know?
yeah.
I'm not all the way mad at Tim, but I am starting to get more mad at the CEO of the Suno, where I think that people like Tim, he still does have integrity as an artist. But again, these CEOs that are so detached, I didn't like the language that he was using. Just, he's been quoted saying, music, it's like a chore. Like, music isn't enjoyable to create. And that's why we're doing this, is because it's too much of a hassle to go learn a guitar. It takes too long to get good. Like, that's how he was wording the purpose of this innovation. And I'm like, why can't you all just have fun making that and still big up studio musicians? Like, why do you got to make it sound like if you're making music that it's a task or that we're not having fun?
That's personal. Yeah,
To me, it sounded like a hater that tried to learn how to play an instrument or tried to do something, and he was just whack.
Yeah, or you're just not in the right field. Like, that's not how most people that make music feel.
Hell no.
It's not a task. I wouldn't agree with that sentiment that he's having.
For me, I'm like, if y'all are going to have Tim be like the face for your company, like, let him do public relations too, because Tim, the way he was wording it, it was like, all right, yeah, there's people that disagree, but you have people on your side too. But when this dude came out talking that talk, he made it sound really cold and corporate and sterile, like all the things that we don't want. He made it sound like we're getting rid of human labor.
Are you kind of worried about it? That's what I was gonna say.
You
I
guys
think that's like what
Wickid made it sound like we complain too much. Like humans complain, and it's easier to work with machines that don't bicker or complain back. They just follow orders.
Wickid, are you asking though, or are you worried, Wickid, that like, I don't know, I guess my analogy or whatever is like, let's just say back in the day, if you needed a sign, it was hand painted. That's just, there was no machine that you could design a little sign on and then a big sign would print out. That didn't exist. Everything was hand painted. Artists were getting paid to paint signs 24/7. Poppin' ass job. We get these programs that are making signs, and signs are getting printed out, and people are using hand painted sign makers less and less. Is this your concern for a hip hop beat maker, Wicked? That it's a labor thing, a loss of their way that their craft, their make of their a lane to make money, sort of.
Well,
I feel that.
well, me personally, I've got just really a couple objections. One is the stealing. Like these
Yeah.
models are being trained on people's music, so they're gonna be able to create music, which is not unlike a person. A person has to learn, do re mi. You have to learn other people's music, but this is right now. It's not making its own music. It's taking other people's music and mashing it up in their, whatever algorithm it has, and presenting it as, some fresh material. And I think at that point, it's really the point of, if I'm Cuddy Fresh, and I know you're fucking training your model on my shit because you just played my shit and claimed it as yours, I need some money. So that's first from now, like you said, it's going to be hard for everyday Joe Schmo to get any money out of that. Even all them people that Mae brought up that been sending him beats for fucking years through his fucking beat selection show. Like the difficulty level for them to make a claim is astronomical. But do they have a claim? At this point, we don't know. He could have, the allegations is he could have been feeding all them beats into this AI for years before they even went public with the shit. And that, and yeah, to me, that's number one. And then number two is just the aspect of someone is making money. And
yeah, I was thinking about Timbo. Why realistically would Timbo get into something like that if there wasn't some, that dude is used to being at the top of the top, and no disrespect, but he hasn't had the freaking meteoric smashes in a long time. But
This is exactly what I was about to go down,
used,
Mae. I'm glad
he's
you
used to
opened
high,
the door. I'm glad you opened the door, because I got a criticism.
He's used to high altitude, right? So,
well, and I think you were kind of hinting where I was thinking too, was like artistically. Look, I don't want to be like Timberland doesn't have hits or isn't famous for like a sound at a certain time that's important, But like if you listen to that time period, those beats, those, I like to think of like Aaliyah, to me, is sort of, I think, his highest achievement. And a lot of it sounds like it could be done by Missy. But a lot of those sounds too are so similar that it almost sounds like he just had a beat pack that he exploited and that he liked and that he used, and that he never expanded or did anything else, and that time, it's not a timeless sound,
yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not bad, but I wouldn't be surprised if Timberland's like bank of musicality is not endless.
You know who he reminds me of? Just realizing it in real time is Scott Storch. They had Meteor guys. They were on everything, but they were really they weren't hiding their demons. Like everybody knows they kind of had a rough patch, substance abuse, whatever. They're both of those men have acknowledged, like, yeah, that stuff kind of set me back. So I imagine them like trying to gain traction again. This is
and there's Scott, yeah. And
Yeah.
is Timberland, I mean, Scott Storch is like a prodigy on instruments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't personally know about that for Timberland. I'm not saying he's not, but I've never heard that about him.
No, me neither. I know he's always been with the keyboard, but I was just thinking about the array of hits that they've had. They transcended all genres for a moment, and they went from having everything to not nothing, but they're not in the forefront like they used to. And I know that feeling is addictive. There's people that have walked away from it, and then there's people that are trying to get that feeling again. Like Fat Joe talked about it. Fat Joe went for years without a hit, and he's like, yo, like, I need a hit. It's like a dopamine thing. Like, I want to see my name on that billboard again. And when he made Lean Back, he got all of it back. He was feeling fresh again. There's something about these guys where once they touch those numbers on them charts, even though they're who they are, they feel like they're not doing their thing unless they're out there on that board or on a headline. I bet Timberland's loving it right now, just all the notoriety that he's getting, good or bad.
So what I gather from essentially he was up so high he fell off, and he's willing to use the cheat move to try to get back on top.
And I'm saying he might have even, I'm not saying he was cheating when he was on top, but what he gave us is the same pocket. And I mean, you can only store so many things in one pocket.
Yeah.
He didn't pull out, even when he made music for Justin and made a huge pop smash. It sounded.
What was the last one he did, right?
It was the same sound as the Aaliyah song.
Magna Carta was his last.
And
he was throwing beats to Jay-Z for Magna Carta.
Like, I think out of all the monster producers, like, I'm not saying my favorite ones, but the ones that are super successful in the field of hip hop, you know, like Dre and Timberland and Pharrell and these people that have made pop hits. To like, just me personally, I don't dislike Timberland, but he's my least favorite.
Hey,
not that matters, but I'm not surprised he's having troubles.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think of him as like a musical genius. Like I think of Pete Rock or Dilla or even Pharrell or somebody, or, you know, or I hate to say even Ye in his heyday, you know. I'm not dissing Timberland, but I just don't think he's on that level.
I think you said it right, man. He would be the one to go and do a venture like this. Like, granted his history, he makes sense out of all the producers that would. I couldn't see Knots doing this ever.
So let me ask you this: do you think that this has been on the table for a minute, and they asked other people, and he just happened to be the one that said yes?
You mean after Versus,
or at least like to be like the spokesperson and say, yeah, I'm gonna use this and partner with the fucking CEO of the company?
Yeah, well, they did that with Versus, so I think whether it benefited Black culture or not, the Versus being sold off, whether it was bought back again, whatever, just the symbolism of us building Versus during COVID, it becoming a success, and then they sold it off. It just showed to a certain extent, like, yeah, our culture is still for sale. It don't mean everybody in the culture is selling it, but we do have merchants within this game that are selling the culture for a price. Regardless of motive, you could talk about that after the fact, but the primary fact is it was sold for something. And they did sell Versus, you know. Whether they bought it back at another time, that's besides the point. It was just, initially it was for sale. And
So this is getting to now we're getting to the root,
yeah,
the money.
the culture for sale.
At the end.
And who do you sell it to? Do you sell it to people that look like you, or do you sell it to? That's all the nuanced stuff is.
Well, I'm saying it's more the timeline and the evolution of the culture, because we're talking about hip hop, you know, a New York based product that evolved and now it's all over the world, and mad people make money off of it, you know, from breakdancing tournaments. They got the beatboxing tournaments. I don't know about graffiti tournaments. They should have something like that. That would be, look, I'm just throwing it out there. We could have a first ever graffiti tournament in Tacoma.
Have you ever heard of Salt? Swizz Beats had a quote I never heard in my life. He said, "I didn't sell out, I sold in." I've never heard that quote, but he's saying we're not selling out, we're selling in to the people that don't understand the business moves that are being made by our billionaire hip hop artists. He's like, don't misconstrue it. We're making moves that these other people make. It's just you guys get mad when we do it, but you don't get mad when they do it.
I think that's fair though. I think
Yeah. Do you think there's a factor of selling in? You know, you got to sell in. It's not just always selling out. Like it's sometimes it could be a true investment.
Well, I know at some point the Versus was breaking off the artists that came on with equity in whatever the company was that they were. I can't even remember the company now. That they were streaming on. Yeah, because when they did that deal, part of the deal structure was we get X amount of shares in the company, to where as we, you know, that we can give to all the artists that we've had come on already, and then as we have a certain amount of shares set aside for the next batch of artists that we're gonna bring on. So on top of cashing out people, they were getting shares in whatever this company was, and I can't think of it right now. But I mean, ultimately, is Versus here?
If I understood Swizz correctly,
have you watched the Versus anytime recently?
Heck no, not at all. No.
So I mean, to me, that means it's not here. So whether they
kind of think
cashed out and got the money, but you know, what did they do with the money? If they fed some of them older artists that they had on and got them money, I'm not mad at it at all. Everyone fucking enjoyed a lot of them Verses. You know, once they had I mean, there's cultural moments that respond from that. The fucking Locks versus Dipset, or you know that.
I think streams went up. I think Tiny Desk shows a lot of people after the Versus too. They were like, "Oh, these hip hop people know how to put on a good show. Let's draw from this bank."
Oh yeah.
And to me, so to connect this back to the AI, to me, I'm all about the artist getting paid. Like, that is my thought process. Is, does this move benefit the future artists? And you know, every move, very minimal moves are going to benefit past artists. You got to have a whole bunch of money or have some real crazy scheme to be able to pay people back that, you know, in the past. But moving forward, is this beneficial to current artists and future artists? And to me, the AI, the tools themselves for this genre, or for any genre, for this category of field of human relations, music specifically, I think it should just be like an off limits place. That's how I personally feel. Music should just be an off limits place, because of the history of how shady the music business has always been, this is going to make it 1,000 times harder for young people to evolve the culture. Number one, because if you lose the hope in all the up and coming artists are trying to compete, and they don't feel like they even have a chance because this AI infrastructure can build itself out. You know, we're not talking about the after effects. We're not talking about the AI bots running up their own streams. So what happens when Timberland's artist comes out and it's outselling everyone and winning all these awards, cheating, using other AI bots to run up the streams? Are we, but someone's getting the money. There's money. So that's what, at the end of the day, they're figuring out a way to extract money out of this music to pay themselves as rich. They might be smart techie people, but they're not artists. Like you said, the CEO, he's coming at it from an angle that no artist would take. And yeah, to me, I just don't think it should be in music at all.
I wonder if that can be a possibility if that's just wishful thinking at this point.
Nothing's off limits. I mean, because they haven't really even drew up the proper laws. Like right now, this shit is still in our Congress. They're debating it, trying to come up with the proper frameworks. But someone has to present that as at least one possibility. If no one brings that up as a possibility, hey, let's just say all music is off limits.
But you can't use that technology for music making?
Yeah.
Or what? Like, then what? You're gonna? I'm just saying, like, what? What would the penalties be? I mean, are you gonna jail software makers?
I mean, to me, yeah, but look, man, if we made a law in the U.S. that you can't fucking use any AI product to make music, any form of music or speech, because this will protect the AI deep fakes. Like, they can make your face all you want, but if they can't, it's because, like you said, the public persona, okay, you're saying you're okay with them doing a deep fake version of you. I'm not with it, but I see where that,
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying I don't think I could stop it. I just think
US
this technology exists and it's out there. I can try to do something afterwards and get some money, but I don't know how you could legislate leaving it just out of that whole. I don't know. That's just a whole thing.
Do you download free music and movies?
I guess.
Or do you have a subscription to like something that gives you free movies to watch?
I guess both. People do both, I think.
I haven't downloaded no fucking movies in a long time. I remember the days of Bear Share and all types of shit to where...
And that's our karma, Whikid, is because we use LimeWire and Kazaa.
LimeWire, Kazaa.
I'm guilty.
Look.
Yeah.
But that's just...
Yeah, well, I think that those are copyright things. I'm saying that's why I was trying to say my earlier thing. I think earlier copyright laws existing copyright laws protect people from some of this stuff, protect intellectual property from some of it, but I don't think you could kind of legislate it. I just feel like the people will decide. Like, I think probably when beat packs came out and people were able to not have to tap out a full-on drum pattern in a song, and that they could use a drum pack, that a lot of people were probably like, that's cheating. You're not making these drums. And
right.
And now somebody that's used to get paid to to program drums or that's gone. And I just think, well, then, but people decided, well, I mean, that's okay though, to use a drum pack to like construct a beat. And I just think, but then we decide, oh, but what Timberland did, stealing a straight up tag off of somebody's beat that's obviously a true copyrighted sound to mark an individual, that's too much. And we were like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can legislate it. I think it's like pretty gray, I guess is what I'm saying.
Nah, I think you can just come at it straightforward. There's just no one that has any political will to do it. There's no one asking for it. Even the artist community. These producers, like they had this meeting with Timberland. This motherfucker went to the bathroom. I seen the montage. I didn't watch the whole video, but I seen a montage of him using the bathroom like 15 times.
I guess what I thought was interesting was him and Swizz Beatz are business partners, and Timberland went out on this venture on his own, and Swizz Beatz had to read the news like we do, just on the internet. And it was funny because he said, you know, you're my partner, but I didn't even sweat you not telling me about this in advance. I trust Timberland, your innovation. You've always been innovative. So I just expect whatever venture you get into, you're going to meet it with the innovation that you've always met it with. And I thought that was odd. Like, these guys are dealing with big money, but Tim don't even really got to go and talk to his other cohort. And is one of them things where, hey, if it makes money, I'm chill. But if you went out and found this venture that's like not coming back in the black, like, damn, then I'm gonna press you, kind of thing. Like, you got free reign in this business venture as long as it's black. But the second that it comes back not, then I might sweat you. I thought that was kind of, I don't know if that was good or bad, but he was like, I trust my brother in business. Like, he could do whatever he wants. We don't got to really talk. I just trust him. And I was wondering, do you guys think is that cool when you're dealing with that big of money? Or do you just, like he said, I just trust my man? Do you trust your man to do?
Well, hey, man, they've made deals. They've done deals.
Yeah,
I can only speak
off a pattern.
I'm saying they've done deals, like, so he feels comfortable to trust him, and I think ultimately it's about economics for them. He knows that whatever Timberland does for this is gonna bring back money, because we're in business partners. It's not about artwork. It's not about hip hop culture. We're here to make money together as homies. We may have came together from hip hop, but that is not our primary function as business partners. Our primary function is to make money, and I know if you go out and do some shit on your own, it's gonna make money for us. So I trust.
I wanted to bring that up. Like, I thought that alone could trigger people where we might be triggered off of their brotherhood, because I watched that live. It was like almost 5 hours long, but it was cool seeing Swizz to a degree. Like, hey, I don't even understand what you're doing, but I kind of trust you based off your track record. So there was a lot of highs and lows during that live. Like, I was mad happy. But I think I'm one of those people too. Like, I do have that feeling about intuition where if y'all was going to do something, I would trust that you were doing it for the betterment of the partnership.
Well, I think for them, I mean that.
But he still had questions at night. Like, he was still pressing him.
Yeah, because it's not whether his gripe isn't about the business partnership. Like, they're gonna get money from this. His gripe is our gripe as the artist side. Like, hey, like, I'm not even tripping you didn't bring this to me, because I know it's gonna make money. But we are music producers. And you're talking about using AI to produce. You're making a whole AI artist that could be singing, rapping. Like, that's a conversation that's different from the business conversation. Like, okay,
Tend to just
yeah,
look at it like IP. That's what Timbo keeps saying. Like, just look at it like IP.
how is it IP when your artist is making music, stealing other people's music? Well, what are we talking about? This is what I'm saying. We're going like in a super circle. We're talking around in a circle.
But I don't know. I think artists aren't trying to stop it because I don't think that they. I don't know if people think that how are on it like you're on it, Wicked. I don't think
it's because everyone thinks that they're going to be able to use it to win. That's why. Everyone thinks they're going to be able to plug in the game, Genie, and beat the game.
I don't think the average dope MC is threatened by some AI busting rhymes. I don't think a dope.
That was Iman's perspective, yo.
I don't think a dope painter is worried about a fucking program that paints. I'm not worried about some AI poetry.
You're person. Right. I'm an MC, so my worries might be different. But right now, we're just at producer level. And producers, right now, they have the gripe. But when like I said, that example I presented to you, when you see the movie, or maybe it's not enough to prove your copyright from your poem. But you know they stole it because they use your voice too. And you don't have a copyright on your voice. So you're like, yo, this is me. Yeah. You guys use my voice in the movie.
I mean, you gotta prove it. You gotta prove it in court.
But I'm saying there's no copyright for that. For your voice.
There is.
For your voice?
Yes.
You have I don't.
I mean, you could bring up any sort of thing and say this is me. I think this is me. But then you got to prove it.
I don't think your voice at this point, cuz it's legal, it's all about laws and legalese. Like I said, you can make the law to make anything legal or illegal. If you say any music generated by AI or audio voice generated by AI is illegal. We don't allow it in the United States.
I don't agree with that. I wouldn't want that.
Why not?
I think that's too far.
Why? We haven't had it since in the last.
Because I don't believe in like restricting technology like that just because of some fear of getting bitten. I'm not fucking worried about that. I just don't. I say let it be, let it ride. I'm still gonna do me. I wouldn't put a cap on nothing. It's not my problem.
So I think we talked offline one point about how the kids and what they are susceptible to. So you're okay with in the future being a musician isn't even a thing because there are no more musicians because it's all AI generated.
I don't see that. I think there will be instruments.
Josh thinks it's going to be a coexist. Like both things can happen. That's kind of what Timbo was saying. That Timbo is claiming, I can't say for truth or not, but Timbo.
And then if technology was going to kill music, there's keyboards and pianos on Earth today. There's acoustic guitars and electric guitars on Earth today. You can play a harmonica.
You have to know how to play it though.
You could play a trumpet on a keyboard,
and a person has to play
or
it.
You could play a real trumpet. I don't think.
But a person has to play it. Person.
But I don't think like kindergarten class is gonna stop. I don't think there's gonna stop being instruments. I don't think people are gonna stop drumming. I just don't.
I think that's where maybe we have a divergence.
I think people will die.
I think it's highly possible.
There's like cultures that will like. That will never give that up. It's not about technology. It's about ceremony. I just think music is so much more deeper than getting locked in this technological sphere. People use it to come together, and I don't know. I don't ever see it not being there.
Well,
yeah, you're right about that, Josh. There's never going to be an AI drummer at drum group, you know?
Yeah.
Or Canoe Journey or like.
Not going to happen.
But I'm saying those things The drum group itself might dissipate. The canoe journey could, those are cultural items, but sometimes the external, because I'm just playing the devil's advocate, because sometimes I think as humans we're too optimistic and giving the benefit of the doubt. Like you said, we're all giving the benefit of the doubt to Timberland. He's a producer. We all grew up on, But
Yeah,
sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to look at it from the worst case
Dad's phone
scenario,
call.
at least
Call me.
to consider it.
I do think it's worth considering for sure, and like doing deep dives and figuring out where that line is.
Because look, I mean,
I just don't think total banning is even. I just don't think it's possible either.
well, people would still. That's the thing. There, anything that is illegal, there's always going to be a black market for it.
Yeah.
But what's the pro and con for being a black market AI producer versus buying a program and making the beats yourself? Whereas, to me, I just look at it, the potential for the elimination for lots of, opportunities for people in the future to actually be creative. Like that, it seemed.
What, hey, Wicked, what do you think is gonna happen for live shows? So now you're number one AI artist. What happens for the show?
Oh, so we're gonna be previewing that in the Crew Up, cartoon series.
Yeah, is it gonna be virtual shows for your favorite virtual artists?
Look, man, there's definitely I would look at it more towards it's gonna be on the blockchain. It's gonna be on Decentraland or in what's it's gonna be in the virtual land, virtual reality, like Ready Player One.
The Web3.
Yeah, the Web3. You gonna throw on the Oculus goggles, you throw on the Google Glass,
Yeah, you show up to spaces, pay your little credits.
Do you think that a part of that this exists, or this is a thing like that with greater technology and like AI, it doesn't necessarily kill a person's desire for like realness and humanity. And I guess this is gonna sound silly, but like, let's just take like, I don't know, let's just take like porn. So like, there are things where AI, or you can have a fake type of person or whatever, but like, what's more popular nowadays is like a OnlyFans situation where people desire more of like, even though it's manufactured and like not real and fake, but like a direct connection to the human side of this person or woman or whatever, and they want to see like what their home is like and what they're cooking and them in their kitchen.
I think it varies.
and then doing all that other stuff. But
I think it varies.
The technology didn't mean everybody wants to bone a robot or whatever. It meant people kind of use that tech to sort of draw in on an individual instead of like a mass faceless.
No, I mean that's I mean it varies. There are people that want to watch, specific OnlyFans, or there's people that have 50 different subscribers.
It's like, I think that one day you can have an artist that's not real look real and act and stuff and make music in a not real way. I don't think that that's going to be desirable.
Well, Timberland disagrees with you, and he is betting his whole
No, I don't
musical
think he,
reputation on this
I don't
fact.
think he's saying that there's not going to be human stars at the top of this. I don't think that's what he's saying.
Well, he says he's working with both. He's doing both at the same time.
Well, what would you feel if you're Timberland's human artist and he's pushing the AI artist? Like, what does that look like? When you guys got to go on tour together and the AI artist is the hologram looking like fucking Tupac rapping with Snoop Dogg at the Coachella, that was fucking like 7 years ago. So the level in technology,
it was a hologram of a real person. Nobody would care about a hologram of a hologram.
I disagree. There's people on the internet There's people on the internet right now.
But Whikid, until it happens, until we are head over heels in love with a fake thing, then you're only speculating.
But Timberland has an artist. Like, I'm not speculating.
But nobody cares. He's not selling out arenas.
Not yet. He's generating buzz right now. We're talking about him on a bootleg
because
hip-hop
he's fake. He's not because he's real and not because anyone likes him. He's generating buzz because it's not real, and people are saying, nah. So the thing you're worried about is not happening. Like in real time. The technology is there, but the people aren't moving in that direction.
So the people that are commenting on it are people our age. I'm pretty sure this artist is not going to be marketed towards us. It's going to be marketed towards your children, as it's Father's Day. If they don't know the difference, if they don't know that this is a fake artist, and they see a dope video, and they hear a dope song, and it's catchy, and it's promoted on the radio enough, we know about a song being played enough, it becomes, you can't not know it. So, I mean, I just think it's coming. And Timberland is the Trojan horse. He's letting He's putting the...
Yeah, I don't, because like the biggest artist nowadays is Kendrick and SZA and people that's real. My kids don't care about a hologram at this point. All you're saying is that one day they will. Well, I don't know. I'm saying I don't think they will. I don't see him going down that route.
Yeah,
just because
I think that kind of shit might swoop up like a lot of the NPC people. But if you're really grounded, and you're cultural and spiritual, I don't think you're going to fall for that okie doke. But I do think that people that aren't tapped in or grounded to something, it is for those. It's like plankton. Like you're gonna get the krill of the society with certain stuff like that. But I don't think you'll ever get everybody. I think a lot of people are more grounded than you give them credit for and tapped into humanity.
Yeah, and it'll work on some stuff where it's just more background. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, there might be some 8-year-old that wants to listen to Lo-Fi Girl while they do their homework, and they don't really care if it's an AI beat or not. And yeah, that might hurt somebody that's in lane making streams off or selling just basic lo-fi beats. But I don't see it getting bigger than that. Then that person wants to connect with an artist that makes music. I think they're choosing someone real, or at least they are right now still.
Yeah, I really think that we underplayed the Kenny stuff. Like, I think the algorithm changed, man. We might be on a new forefront.
Okay, well, that's a good, perfect segue.
That might be, that might be the kryptonite to this shit, is just the energy that the Kenny and Drake battle brought. That energy is still in the air.
Well, let's bring that conversation back after our halftime, because I got that in my notes to discuss. I'm glad.
Kind of dispelling all this shit at the same time. It's dispelling all these spells that they're trying to cast out here.
All right. That's true. I like to look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's lead this. Let's take that as our halftime inspiration, and we'll come back and return to a little bit on this, but this brings us right to our next topic on, what I wanted to talk about was the Kendrick in Toronto, and this seems to continually be evolving and giving us fruits to absorb. So we're going into the halftime break, y'all. It's normally about
What's
10
up,
minutes.
Wall? This is Seaside.
We'll be
Remember that
back.
shit motherfucker said you couldn't do a minute ago? Drop that shit, cuz.
Is it because something is holding me back? Is it because I'm black? Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah.
Look, in this cold world, the government thinks I'm a pawn. Thinking I don't know the game, they trying to do me like Trayvon. A-Wall got love for those that snipping coupons. Walking blocks, host on cops, getting they bread and soup on. The ones swerving in the coops, on the court playing hoop. The ones that ain't got rides, calling their homeboys to come and scoop. Barbershops that be live, haircuts for 3.5s. CDs, DVDs, a pair of Jordans for the night. Open mics, graffiti artists tagging on site. Bad kids knocking your trash can over on your bike. Fundraisers for the tykes, keeping the academics right. The ones that influence keeping the most high in your life. The old heads with that wisdom and knowledge. All my G's for taking me and making my game polished. The kids are our future, make sure we stay solid. Like the old saying goes, tomorrow's never promised. Life's a bitch, I'm getting head till I'm dead. Sucker ducking feds, focus on my bread. If I put my hands up, then I'm aiming to shoot. Because police don't give a fuck, they trying to take us out at the root.
Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm black?
Yeah, it's not what you can do for your country. What the fuck can your country do for you? Nothing, I guess. They're gunning us down. There's a war going outside and we losing right now. Time to boss up. Apocalypse now.
Yeah. A-Wall. Yeah. It's the Build and Destroy show. We at the halftime break, y'all. We'll be back. 8 minutes and counting.
Yeah, the world is a circus. Bunch of clowns running around in clown cars. Gluttonous, gullible, gobble it all of the bull. Your bullshit is unbelievable. Be gone, the gall you get makes you get got. I'm in like amen, a man on Amen Ra. My own may slay y'all, be that as it may. Me and May, be that as above, so below. My bellow beckons, idiot, too idiotic to get the idiom. I'm Khalid El Amin with my you know what I mean. I'm ending y'all like fentanyl. When you all alone and you don't even have a best friend to call. I get so excited, I almost suicided. Atoms divided, molecules collided. Behold what is within, no break, all bend. Build and destroy Kalana pin, so cold with the pen. Bad, prosperous, pronounced preposterous. I've been there and did that, went there and went back. Brought the buried treasure home in my backpack. On, and it's like that.
Yo, rough drafts led to shockingly smooth endings, and hot heads led to cool spending. Micronutrients led to mic grips, not dubious. Life slips away, the vice gets to play. Found localized in a global fray. Mobilized junctions in the clay. What was upwards was downwards. Once pondered with sound nerves. My nouns occur when I'm grounded to the earth. The resting place resembled that S shape. You question fate while the destined wait. Naked and not afraid till greatness has behaved. Calibrated egos from amalgamated peoples. Downgraded steeples, the town made it evil. Years fortified lectures from a clean soul. Deaf sit for my etiquette. Sacrificial lamb of rap style that never lived. Get the bid on the auctioneer with awkward tears. Locked in the sphere. Often I'm here. Catch me boxing the square.
Yay! Here we come.
Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Okay, you picking me up? Okay, I can't hear myself. Oh, okay. I remember the days. Don't forget the big picture when little things change. There's no more supper in the evening, the medicine's too sweet, and the kids so woke, they just wanna go to sleep, go to sleep. Yeah, just go to sleep. Yeah, no more supper in the evening, the medicine's too sweet, and the kids so woke, they just wanna go to sleep. Politics as usual, the sheep were sleeping on the way, the shepherds wanna do them foul. Numb to the knife, sinking deep in the flesh, drink death to the morning, cause they mourning in the evening, stepping over dead bodies to get to the new J's. Sleepwalking while the voices of no reason keep talking in case you ready to give it all to the dead beats. Besides, pride is where your heart and your head meet. Caught up in the bullshit, sometimes I think I lost the skills, dealing with the awful ills of a world that's lost for real. Niggas dying every day while the boys are boot rag, just one less do-rag. Go ahead and put his criminal history on the newscast so you can say he's too bad and dangerous to have the same liberties as you have. They scared of the new black. War on the misinformation, they was too lax to catch it when it blew past. Lying in the school books, the future needs a new path. Besides, Indigenous People Day is disingenuous. People say be forgiven while they giving us diseases. I'm giving thanks to the people who point pistols at pussy polices and punish evil. Policies of poverty, keeping us in the same position our fathers seen. Only difference is the streets is not as clean. Probably never will be, but I guess you gotta dream. I remember the days. Don't forget the big picture when little things change. There's no more supper in the evening, the medicine's too sweet, and the kids so woke, they just wanna go to sleep, go to sleep. Yeah, just go to sleep. Yeah, no more supper in the evening, the medicine's too sweet, and the kids so woke, they just wanna go to sleep.
I get a tiger with no stripes, nobody going after polite, see him act polite. Roll dice every fortnight, but take a gamble every breath of your whole life when they roll by. It's the age of information, right? You can get the address and drive by the murderer's place tonight, but you'd rather watch him take a life than go on vacation. Wouldn't lift the fucking finger for the family, that's disgraceful. Complacency in the face of danger is the opposite of courageousness. I'm gonna plant this idea here and blow your brains to bits. Think differently, independently, explore shit that's interesting. Grow your own food and spike the industry and drink. Choose spike with Hennessy, you chill. Research people fighting to get you here. Snow is just water crystals and you went down for the slaughter, but want invites to the finished meal. Go to sleep.
David, don't be foolish.
Woo! Woo! You got it. They got it. You can't accept something, be ready to change it, rearrange it, move the extra baggage to the basement, making minimum wage for enslavement, confined to the policies of a corrupt corporation. Speak your voice, use your language, cuss they ass the fuck out, don't be ashamed. I ain't on that Danny Ainge long range with the aim shit. I ain't passing up spare change, Bitcoin, financial arrangements, checking for them savings, misbehaving in the retail haven with the cash sandwich, bread with the cheese in between, misled by TV screens in the magazine. Analytics from the streams flowing serene. Now my palms itching crazy, someone owe me dividends. Or is the pond contaminated with chlorine? Now I ran out of lotion, money like an ocean. Damn, I just swim in it. We so intimate with who we doing business with. So when they task us, we ask them what the credit limit. You got a good head on your shoulders where you're heading with it.
Yeah. They got it. We got it. They got it. They got it.
If we don't switch the gears, the sound of birds will disappear from niggas' ears in less than 60 years. Severe weather already here all over the sphere. Silver line clouds packed tight with lightning strike like Cy Young pictures. After sight of police tighten up with fear. They should be on the sidelines while we run this here. The 1% get killed and they family get it. Plan for multiple missions, extra ammunition for each gun you wield. Fuck 100 bills, get silver, be a pyramid builder. In the field of nightmares, the concrete jungle obscures the jewels you'll find there. Stomp through pools of white tears like rhinos, we pioneers. Find holes in the game of survival, divine spirit in the flesh, but your mind gon' rewind lyrics. Listen again, cause the rhyme's strong.
Yeah. Back in effect. Real quick elation. The transition moments. Excellent.
Yeah.
We got it. We got it.
Look, see, those are exactly that particular joint was a black hole joint. Had to
Black hole production.
That's I had to bring out. You had to bust out the rough draft. You know, maybe at some point when it finally comes out of that studio, the mastering studio, it'll be a whole different song. But that's the backup, just in case it never comes out of mastering.
One of my favorite shows is Hoarders.
Oh man. Well,
yeah.
We back at it. Build and Destroy Show, Father's Day edition. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Share it with your homies so you can come chop it up with us. I hate to say I didn't prepare for a show and tell.
I did.
I could do another poster.
You want to start off with that?
I always got those. Yep.
Well, while you go to that, I wanted to ask you guys about Real ID. It's like a sub mini topic.
Okay.
I mean, I assume, Josh, you got one since you do traveling and flying and whatnot. Oh, he had to exit out. What about you? Do you have the Real ID?
No, not currently, no.
Me neither.
But I do got this. Blue in Exile.
That's what? Oh.
Blue in Exile, we seen them in Seattle. When they got on stage, they were all locking eyes with us, me and Trish. And most definitely when they got off the stage, they walked straight up to us and shook our hand. And we got the vinyl signed, and it just felt like a real recognized role moment. Like we always get to meet and greet, or we get to catch eyes with whoever's on the stage.
Okay.
Cool. He wrote the full.
You want to do the Real ID thing yet, or are show and tell in it?
Hold on, yeah, he's talking about his show and tell right now.
Okay.
But I was just saying, yeah, at the show, like the real recognized real, we always end up meet and greeting or being able to have some kind of interaction with who is ever on the stage at the time. Or for that time, it was Blue in Exile.
Mm-hmm. And just to
and Blue is really tall too. He's tall.
And that's that album. It has the song "Dancing in the Rain."
This one is True and Living, Spread Sunshine, and Powers to the People.
Oh, so that's like an EP then.
Yeah, it was like a little promotional joint while he was on tour.
Okay.
And yeah, everybody knows Blue. If not, they should. He almost got signed to Death Row. He has a cool song about that. But he's total West Coast.
But that is the same artist that I'm thinking about, right? The Dancing in the Rain.
Yeah.
That was one of my joints.
He's from that era.
Yeah, Blue raps.
Shouts to Exile for the beats. Like that guy's always been making beats that make us do what we want to do.
For sure.
I don't know his roots, but his beats have that DNA in it.
All right. Whoa, HighRize, you are up with the concert poster
See if I can
presentation.
try to get this. Let me see if I can flip this. Might just have to turn the thing. You just have to tell me if you can see. Let's see. Where did I leave off last time? Okay. Here's one. This will be one right here. Hold on. Okay. Can you see this one?
Yeah.
Got a RIP.
Yeah.
This is another one from this guy, but like this place is not around anymore.
No. Yeah, we got to smoke with First Degree that night. I did what Brother Lynch said in that album. I was like, XDE.
$5 at the door. You know, you will never see that anymore.
Hell nah.
Sick ill. R.I.P.
Yeah, I remember that night. That was when I got to work with Sick Ill, actually. We did a little side project, and when I met him face to face at the show, he was like, yo, I feel like we got project of the year, mixtape of the year, and thank you for working with me, blah, blah, blah. He always did what he could as far as the promotions. I just sent him the verses, and then he formatted the project, and then he promoted and did all that stuff.
This flyer is weird now that I'm looking at it. There's crazy ghost images on it. Can y'all see that?
In the back, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
That was the last time I seen Sick Ill, man.
He had a cool, unique way of making graphics too. Graphic design. Well,
yeah, I can't remember that show. I've got a bad memory. That's just me.
Yeah, First Degree, he had his camera out that whole show. He recorded all of that night.
Was I there? That's a funny question to ask.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But it's Almond Roca. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure you were. You probably rapped.
Yeah, you had to.
No, they probably didn't perform that song. You guys, for Almond Roca, I think when you guys really have you guys got more songs besides the Almond Roca project itself.
Yeah, sometimes if we couldn't get all of y'all, we would just do we would say it was Almond Roca, and it was just like AWOL doing 3 songs and me doing 2 songs in the poem or something.
Yeah.
And that was just Almond Roca.
Which was cool.
And then we have a few Lucy's we do.
Which that's still cool. I was probably there. I'm just thinking. I don't know.
And yeah, you probably were, because you were always down the coast, so we would probably always do your song at least.
Well, I went and snatched something out of the stash with just quick. There's no backstory behind this, except for we'll just get the mic out of the way.
All right.
I see the bunny. I see the hive graphics. The honeycomb.
Do you know what that sounds like?
So it's a taste of honey.
That makes sense.
I mean, and I think I've explained it before that I don't be knowing none of these artists. I be record shopping, just looking at covers and back information.
Was that 2 bass players? Hold on, show it again.
2 fine ass black ladies. That's all I know.
Yeah. No.
So I know, yeah, the one in black is a bass because there's 4 strings.
You may have like a rhythm guitar and a bass guitar.
Yeah, the other one is a what, 9-string or 6-string, whatever the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is clearly one that I just seen two fine ass black ladies with guitars. Was like, yeah, this looks like kind of something dope. A taste of honey with the honeycomb design behind, and like, let me go ahead and cop this real quick. So yeah, I don't
the honey packs.
I'm sure. Look, I'm sure that what I think the copyright on that was 1976.
Yeah, what's the name on that again? I'm gonna write it down.
It's called A Taste of Honey. I don't know if that's the name of the album or the group.
Okay. I'm gonna see if that's the original Beehive.
1978. It's the name of the group. Perry Kibble, Janice Johnson, Hazel Payne, and Donald Johnson.
Some family.
Yeah, it looks like. So yeah, I mean, at some point, these records got to get spun by somebody.
What was you want to talk about Toronto for?
Oh, well, just leaning into the continuation of the saga that is the Kendrick and Drake beefing, and that, you know, Kendrick had I think he had 2 shows in Toronto, 2 sold out joints, and like had the crowd singing "Not Like Us," and the last thing that I saw was Drake. There was a Canadian politician, this Indian dude, like, or Sikh or something. He had like a turban or something with a big ass long beard. But he got spotted at the show, and Drake sent him a message at like 1 a.m, like, "You're a goof," and that was the message. You're a goof, and he shared it himself. Like, the politician didn't share it. Like, he shared his own DM to a politician, telling him he's a goof because he saw a picture of him at the Kendrick Lamar show. And I don't know if this is a parody of what on the video that I saw, but they said they got the whole OVO team going through all the security footage from the 2 shows to figure out every single person in Toronto that was at the show to identify them and start trolling them online.
That's what's dumb. Like, you're not in a real gang. Like, you're a fan of music, so that would suck to be so bound to an artist where you can't admit that somebody else is good, or that you can't go there and have fun. That sounds like a sad existence as a fan. You gotta be bound to some dude. Like, dude, you didn't get jumped into being a fan of his. Like, it's okay. You can go have fun.
It's okay to have a diverse palette of tastes and likes.
All right.
Like, if you listen to Michael Jackson, you can't fuck with Prince. Or if you fuck with Prince, you can't fuck with Michael Jackson.
You
can't listen to both. You got to choose.
Yeah, forget all that. I feel bad for those people that can't do that, even if it's in their mind where they feel like they can't.
Yeah, that's a sad state of affairs.
It really is. Because why did you not think that he was going to be able to do that show out there and have fans? And
look, so that's the funny thing is the industry commentators were the ones that actually were saying that. Like, Maul Rory and Mal, he's a Drake, fan person. So he was one in particular saying, if he shows up and does a show in Toronto at this place, I would think the majority of the crowd are going to be there to boo him, not to, like, that doesn't even make sense. No one's paying money to go boo.
No.
But that was his stance, and he went on a rant, like, that was like a couple months ago. And this proved his
doesn't
wrong.
Have his pulse on like how anyone in the public feels.
Well, yeah, he's an industry personality.
He's a professional hip hop opinion giver,
and his opinion is biased.
And it's wrong. It's not. I mean, opinions are your own, but his ain't even based in a reality that we share. Like nobody else would think that. We're just talking about how dumb that is to think that.
There's people that was riding and supporting that stance, but that's when you get to what's the term that they call it? Like, you just don't want to accept reality. I can't even think of the word right now.
I realize all them people are the ones that are inside. The people that are outside know what's up.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, if you're outside, that reality will break you out of that dissonance because you'll hear it and see it in real time. You don't have to rely on your mind to make it up. People that have those opinions about Kenny are usually the ones that are inside. You don't see them nowhere. Be outside. You could hear it playing at parties, whatever, out the cars. It's not like a fake bot thing. It's a real movement.
And that song, if as we all are artists, when I think back, I know you guys have a different thought process when you're making music and things. I oftentimes think about the mainstream, because that's kind of how I grew up, just listening to straight Cube 93 top 40 radio. So I often think of things how to say the same message, but have it connect with a broader audience. And They Not Like Us is adaptable to any group, any team. Like any team, any group can say, and they can take it on. They not us. Like, it's a genius song to man. That is like,
it's any opposing group, right? No matter what you're doing.
Yeah, I was thinking that the other day. The song came on, and I was listening.
Really universal.
Yeah, and it had a sound that was like, yeah, this will be playing at a sport event in 75 years.
Yeah. So you can't. That's the part that you have to have the cognitive dissonance to overlook and deny, or like Mae said, you just are not outside anywhere. Like, you have no connections with no real people that like are regular people, because this is everywhere. Like,
all ages.
Yeah.
All ages.
That's crazy to think about that. It's Mal, right?
Yep.
That Mal, like, has a life where everybody he's around still listens to Drake. Mm-hmm. Like, you really got to be hanging around one type of person. It can't be a real hip hop dude.
I don't know if he hangs around anyone.
Like, girls maybe still on it with Drake. Maybe if he's around, like, super fit
I mean,
or something. Yeah, like, how could you? That's funny.
Well, it goes back to, I guess, just to tie a bow on it, is do you trust this person? And when Mae was bringing up, Timberland and Swiss, some people, you don't actually have to be friends. You don't even have to be business partners. That's kind of what fandom is you trust the artist that you are a fan of. You are going to support them no matter what. Even if they're crashing out, you're going to crash out with them and for them. And
yeah, like Kenny's management, they met up with academics at the show, confronted him and said, yo, why are you going so hard for Drake? Are you on the payroll? What is going on? He said, no, I don't get paid. I really like him. He's my favorite guy. They had that convo about caping, But I want to give shouts to Ack for finally waving the flag. I finally heard him say on the camera that, if somebody can go to your town and do that song and get an encore, you win.
And the crazy part is he's a de facto spokesperson.
I don't know why it took that, but it felt good to hear him say it after like a year and a half. It just felt good to hear X say that.
Because he's a spokesperson, just like Maul.
Because normally he'll talk everything up and he'll defend, but you couldn't defend Toronto. Nobody could defend it. It was emphatic proof. Couldn't deny it. There was no bots. It was real humans.
Well, the problem probably was is they was talking shit before. If he wouldn't have said nothing before and talked so much shit, maybe it was only one show. But they had to have a second show because the tickets sold out so quick.
Yeah, they tried to have their little protests against it. Like, they weren't bigger than the movement. And it just felt good. Like, if that's what it took, fine. But to hear him admit it felt good.
Well, hey. Yeah, that's what I had on the docket. Y'all got anything you want to add before we close out for the day?
Not really, but academics, he's still doing punk stuff. Last week I'm sure he's not the one that found it out, but he's got the biggest platform. So when he said who the identity was of one of the people.
Oh, the rapper and the rapper and the spouse.
Nah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was just a victim that was trying to remain anonymous and had a fake name. I think the rapper and his spouse. I'm pretty sure it's Ye.
Yeah, because we talked about that. Well, I guess not on last show. We were talking. Yeah, we were talking in real life about it.
Yeah, I think he pretty much outed himself there on purpose. But
yeah, academics. Yeah. I mean, he's not a likable person. I don't even know why you would be following him on Instagram or any social media.
I think nowadays you can be dislikable and people follow you, and it doesn't matter. It's just
he's not entertaining. Like, he's not funny.
He's not. He's horrible.
He's not a DJ. He doesn't like. Why is your name
Maybe
even
he's like
DJ
a nerd?
Academics?
So he's like a nerd. So
all the nerds follow him.
Are like, hey, he's like, I'm like him.
He's the
I'm
king
a video
of the
game.
He's the king of the nerds.
Dork, and he's up in there, so it's kind of like I'm up in there.
He's the nerd avatar.
He's the nerd. Yeah, he's repping for that
supreme
that
nerd.
group. He's like incels watching from home. Like, oh, Ak is in there. He's repping for my tastes.
Yeah.
Does he know that he's the representative for them?
I think he does.
Yeah, I think he does too, man.
He's accepted his role.
Yeah, I think he knows he's not the cool guy.
I don't know. I think he thinks he's cool.
He could be. I'm sure he's pleased with himself no matter what. He's got a career and he's proud.
Well, enough academics. We're not promoting him on this channel. This is the Build and Destroy show. All you got to do is hit the like button and show up on Sundays around 5 p.m. We'll be at you. Tell all your friends. Come through. Kick it. Chop it up. Maybe we'll have a battle and we have to roast you. You never know what's going to happen on the show. So make sure you tune in every Sundays around 5 p.m. Pacific time. We go live.